Hello, hello. This is episode 21 of Comics and Art. Welcome, welcome. I'm trying. Well, okay, so I brought a few cats home, and we'll see how that goes. If anybody's here, jump into the comments and say hello. I'm just getting things set up here. So yeah, I brought a couple of my cats home. They're in a local cat sanctuary. For those that don't know, yes, babies, and they're off and running. Absolutely. Um, Meow meow. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay, Ripley. You can't hear them, but they're making noise. All right, I'll be back in 1 second. Bear with me. Yes, babies. I know. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. So, how y'all doing? So, just me of late. I've been trying to keep pace with a day job and do this when I can, and it's been difficult. Working out in the sun, and I'm not good with the sun as far as being highly productive out in it. Uh, hey! Sorry. Hold on. I'll be back. What's going on here? What's going on here? Do I have to put one of you in the bathroom? Yeah. Alright. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. It's okay. Oh, hang on. Oh, my goodness. There you go. Stay. Rex, get some sleep. Hey, Salazar. Yes, the kids are acting out. Yeah, so, I've had 5 cats out in local sanctuary, and because I couldn't handle them here, but I decided these 2, which I got here currently, one needs medical attention, the other one just needs attention, and for better or for worse, I'm trying to handle them now. So we'll see how that goes. I got a little playpen for them, and I think it's too close quarters for the both of them. So I got one in there, one in the bathroom. And it should be okay going forward. And we'll see how much work I can get done today. I would like to go more than an hour, but maybe an hour would be cool. And I said this stream is an open call for other people to come in. Now, mind you, my internet isn't the greatest, and it gets more complicated, I've noticed, when I have more than a few people in the stream. So what I'm going to do is start off with one person at a time. If anybody wants to join at this moment. So, quarantine the kitties. No. Well, that's what I have to do at the moment. I don't have a separate studio space, so that's what I have to do. So if you'd like to join, here is the link in the chat. So if you have webcam and yeah, I notice I really have to get the lighting better one day, but good enough for now. So yeah, Sunday, fun day. Fun day with the kitties. I would like to say thank you to my new subscribers. Channel is growing week by week, which is great to see. Yeah, obviously I'm trying to get it up to 1,000 so I can become a YouTube partner again, which I was previously. Because I, haven't been overly consistent. There are times when I did new videos weekly, times when I didn't. I love to do it, but schedule and deadlines and other life happenings. So Randy says, I'd love to stream with you sometime, but we're cleaning the house and the kids are out of control right now. LOL. Totally hear you. Well, it's definitely something I got to do today. Some home chores. I got laundry I'll take care of later. And because I got the cats here now, I gotta make the house cat proof, which is gonna take a while. Yeah, so one of my cats, the youngest one I have, is Ripley, named after Ripley from Alien. Um, and she's a sweetheart. But at the pet sanctuary, they have like 50 cats, and she was walking around, but she was hiding a lot. Every time I went there, or almost every time, there's a little room upstairs, and she was up there in a cat carrier in the back of it, just sort of hang out on her own. It's kind of upsetting when your animals don't interact with other animals. So I decided to bring her back home here. Um, and also, she seems to have lost a little weight, or she's going through a growth spurt. I think more the latter. And so I figured, keep a daily eye on her and see where that's going. Because she's a tiny little cat. She's a turtle, whatchamacallit? The breed I'm trying to think of, blanking. But she's super sweet. Loves being back here. I'm giving them a couple of days to get reacquainted with my apartment, which they're already seem comfortable. They've both been here before, and well, with Ripley most of her life. um, Rex was a stray that kept coming, kept coming here and wanted to spend time with me. Um, so she seems to be very happy to be back. And yeah. Oh, one of the things was her coat was very, very heavy when she was last here. Um, and now it seems it's either the summer. Dee tortoise hair. Yeah, there you go. I was thinking tortoise shell, but that didn't sound right. Um, yeah, I think she's going through her um, summer changes, and her coat isn't quite as thick. Um, but just want to make sure. I think I can handle them here at home a little better now that I'm less stressed about other things in my life. It's just a matter of, I guess, having them chill out together. So we'll work on that. But definitely, my other cat here is a red-haired male, and he's normally super sweet. He's probably a little edgy. He's got some health issues going on. Um, he was taking some medicine for the inside of his mouth. He has problems eating because of it, and as a result of that, he's lost a lot of weight. Poor guy. And more than Ripley, I wanted to bring him back. See if I can. Well, he's taking medicine currently because he's been sneezing a lot. So I'm giving him medicine daily for that. And just want to see him put on some weight again because you could feel his bones. Poor guy. He's been through a lot. Hey, Crimson Owl Comics, otherwise known as Ronnie. I wish I could enjoy it. Only 15-minute break currently. Another time, buddy. Yeah, I'm having an open call. If anybody wishes to join, put the link in the chat. Come around. Be sad if nobody shows up. But it's my first time doing that. I've had plenty of hangouts with creatives. I didn't really ask anybody specifically before. Who do we got? We got Randy. Hey.
Hey, Peter, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Hey, I'm trying to share my screen. I had it going a minute ago and I had this weird echo thing going on. Let's see if I can do this correctly. Share screen. Holy crap, I think I figured it out.
Okay, let's see. I think I should click on
Yes,
this.
yes, I figured it out.
And remove that. Okay. And now it's giving me that. So let's try this. No, that's not. Hey, Gazbot. I'll figure this out. Hold on. I've been through this before. Do you hear me, Randy? Randy.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey. Yeah, I really have to figure this thing out. Because you you have two. You split into two different people. I don't know how that works.
I don't either. Can you hear me right now?
I can hear you now. Hold on. Let's see if I can just get your image up. Me too, Gaz. I miss your art vlogs. Oops.
Okay. It's really great when you have guests show up and hijack your stream, right?
Oh, well, I mean, that's the purpose to today's show. Were you talking the whole time? I think when I'm not clicked on you, I don't hear you.
I'm clicking buttons on my end too, so don't think it's all you.
It's all me.
I,
All right.
I've been trying to figure it out. I'm
Uh,
going to try one more thing. It seems like when I have the screen up, you can't hear me, but when I have this icon up, you can hear me just fine. So I don't know what's up.
well, maybe we could just talk.
Maybe.
I probably have to watch a tutorial on what the hell's going on, because I've encountered this before, and since I do want to do creative hangouts, it's kind of important that I learn this. But I also want to get work done, so I don't want to fuss with it too much.
What might work for me is if I just like use my phone to manually point at the screen, instead of doing an actual screen share. But
Right.
it's not that serious.
Yeah.
Not for me anyway. It's not that serious.
So, are you? Well, let me know when you're good and you're set, and we'll do a little intro.
Okay.
You're good?
Yeah.
Is this? Oh, okay. Okay. So this is just talking, Randy. We'll figure it out for future episodes where we're gonna make it work. But for anybody who doesn't know you or your work or what you're doing in this world, clue people in.
An answer from me.
Let people know.
I make the comic book The Hawk of New York. It has very little limited distribution. I'm on Comixology. So, I mean, I think like a lot of other indie creators, we're all trying to figure out the best way to distribute. And, Hawk sold really well when I introduced it like 6 years ago. So it's pretty frustrating to have a product that sells and nowhere to take it to. So I am not giving up on it. Peter and I have been working together on the past 2 issues, the Peter inking, and
Yep.
I'm not giving up on this thing. We're up to issue 7 now, and I've got another 20, at least 20 issues planned. There's more to it than what I've presented. About all I've been able to do is retell. The origin was a retelling of an older story that I came up with in high school. So this is a reboot of something I came up with in high school, essentially. And that's it. I mean, I got an album that supports the newest efforts that I'm really proud of. And did a recent interview with on the Adam Messer show. That's Savannah Public Radio, and I'm based in northern Georgia. So that's about it. I can talk all day.
I wouldn't know that. No. So we have somebody new in chat. Hey Jay, welcome. Why not try Webtoons for the back issues? That will promote it.
Is Webtoons a pay service, or is it I have to put it up and give it away?
It's free. It's another one of those sites where you can have a webcomic. And
I've got a strip version of Hawk of New York, and I'm looking for a home for that, especially since the magazine that it's published in is, like everyone, struggling like crazy this year, and they're behind on several issues. So I want to complete the arc somewhere. So I think I'll check out Webtoons and try to move the strip version of Hawk of New York over there. I think it might be a better fit than the comic book.
Look at that. A complete stranger convinces him of something, and I've been talking to him for years.
I'm impressionable like that.
Nah, don't worry. Don't do anything I say. I'm just kidding around.
Yeah, like Peter. You're one of those people you're so easy to talk to that I frequently forget how steeped in experience and knowledge you truly are, and I hope you're easygoing enough that I think you forgive me when I do that. But but it's a thing, and I mean no disrespect when I talk to you the way I talk to you. So
Yeah,
I truly don't. I truly don't, because
I know.
you've been there and done that, and many of us have only dreamed about it. So it's worth noting.
Yeah, well, I mean, my experience is a model long forgotten. It's like, yeah, I'm good at doing things as they were done in the 1990s.
Yeah, say
I'm
that right now.
I'm trying to move into the modern age and make it work, for me now. And I've dibbled and dabbled with certain things and excelled at certain things, but I've yet to conquer, what a lot of independent creators are striving for, which is making money off of what they do. Um, like, like equivalent to a real job. Um, I get by, and then things like Corona happen, and like, I have to go get a day job. Um, but I'm
Yeah,
still sorting through that whole situation, and
you
I
know
might have an option.
what I just recently discovered on Netflix is this show called
Yeah.
Alone, and it's like the less famous cousin of Naked and Afraid. They take people into the
Oh,
wilderness,
okay.
just drop them, and so it's like this great comparison for our struggle. Because no matter how bad things get, at least we're not in the frozen, freaking Alaskan wilderness eating a mouse with blueberries for sustenance.
Yes. At least we're not doing that, or
Right. We could watch the
um,
show, sit on your couch, and be like, "Yeah, I could do that."
I did get word of I might have a better option to where I could work once a week, get half the pay, work for somebody else. But we'll see, because if where I'm working currently really demands my presence, then I may be stuck with him. But because I hate just like saying I do something and bolting. Um, so we'll see how that works out. I'll talk to him later.
Well, I hope it
'Cause-
works out good. I mean, I hope it's
yeah.
not. I hope it's not something that makes you miserable. You know, like that. There's nothing worse than the grind, but you know,
Well, that's
everybody has to survive somehow.
that's what's happening right now. It's like I don't love being out in the super hot unless I'm like in a freaking water, pool or ocean or something. Because otherwise I'm useless. Otherwise I just like melt, and I don't want to do anything. And you know, get it. It's like that's what the summer is for. Getting out into the water, and not just sitting out there melting. And that's kind of what my current job gets me. Currently, go out into the hot weather and melt. Um, so it's borderline making me, yeah, resentful. A little bit.
Well, the heat can bake your brain too. Like they can.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't make you. I mean, at least when I get too hot, I don't make the world's fucking best decisions. Oh, sorry, I just dropped the F bomb on your stream.
Oh, it's okay. No kids watch this. It's okay.
Good.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's like he's attempting a new business, and it's like we've had good days and we've had bad days, and the last 2 days were bad, and we have to do something drastic to change that. And it's like, do I really want to take this ride? I already got enough going on. It's like, um, at the end of the day, whatever day it's been lately, um, we like talk all day while we're working together, and it's just like, uh, 1,000 of our conversations going through my mind, and it's like, why is my mind like stuck on all his stuff? You know,
Yeah.
where I just want to focus on my own work and my own comic, and I didn't think it would invade my brain that much. It's kind of weird, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So Jay is saying web series is pretty popular right now. They made the Crunchyroll deal and now are producing original anime of some of their IPs.
Yeah.
And while
Intellectual properties. Yeah. Cool.
yeah, um, while Crunchyroll probably won't pick up Hawk in New York anytime soon.
What is Crunchyroll?
That's like an anime
It sounds like a
website.
vanilla ball.
It's where you watch anime like in Japanese, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's like more authentic that way, I guess.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, so I mean, I have let's see. I think I have my limited webcomics on Webtoons. Um, I know I tried Webtoons. I tried Comic Fury and maybe one other. Um, it's like my webcomics I will get back to, but it's not priority right now. And I've only done X amount of pages for each small number. Um, Bright Eyes being one of them, Neon Eden being another. It's like stories I want to tell, but I want to get retro out first, which is the book I'm working on currently. Um, and yeah, it's like if I could cut down my day job to just one day a week or somewhere around that, from it's been 5 days a week. That will definitely open up a lot more time again for me to work on retro. So that's definitely the goal, and plus I have other things like Hawk in New York, like
Yeah.
um,
Hey,
uh,
I call like
yeah,
the stuff that you're supposed to do, but you haven't worked on yet. Like I'm literally like I don't know if you saw that screen share I tried, but that was one of the reasons why I wanted to show it was uh, I call him hanging Chad, and it's like you can't move forward until you get, or at least I can't truly do good work until I've cleared out my backlog of stuff I said I was going to do. And
yeah,
I told my classmates, okay, first of all, like when I was in high school, my senior year, I was on yearbook staff, and I got this bright idea to do cartoon caricatures of everybody in my class, which sounds impressive until you realize that I went to high school in the middle of nowhere, so the class size was pretty small. So it was only 47 people. I drew everybody's portrait. It got in the yearbook, and then there was talk 6 years ago of doing a 20-year reunion. Well, we're all deadbeats, so we didn't ever have that reunion. But I said that I would do an update to the portrait if people paid for it, and they paid for it, but the reunion never happened. So I got
mm,
paid, and I'm like, I really need to do like it's literally nobody is everybody's cool about it. Like literally nobody has pressured me to do this to be true to my word, but I gave them my word, and now it's 25 years ago. I'm old, but um,
mm,
it's now or never. I'm going to do the portrait this year or not at all, and it's July, so I'm already 2 months behind the technical deadline. So, but I feel like if I get it in time for Christmas, then people will not hate me forever. Uh, but then when it's done, I can move on to the things that I'm commissioned to do currently. I've been commissioned to do a werewolf comic book, and that's due in September. So not only do I have to finish Hawk of New York pages, oh, and by the way, I got freaking more penciling work for another comic book that's an anthology. It's like 4 pages, so I have to do that before mid next month, and it's a lot. Plus, I have cartoons I'm doing, so it just like constantly in the studio. It's hot as balls out there, and yes, I have an air conditioner in my studio, but it's in the attic of a 110-year-old house, so it only works so
Yeah.
well, And talking about heat making, you not make the best decisions. It's like not ideal, but at least I have a studio now, and that it's like one thing at a time, Randy. One thing at a time.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely. Jay Espin says, "Is Netflix for anime?" Well, they certainly have a lot of anime on Netflix. Um,
yeah.
I'm not sure how you're asking that. Like, do you have an anime you want put then Netflix to put on on the service? Um, but they definitely have a lot of anime, and they're definitely like even through this pandemic have been coming out with new show after new show after new show. And I followed some of the anime on it, but
There,
I don't know how
I
often.
I've seen some anime on it. I don't think it's necessarily the best source for anime, but it. I've seen some.
Yeah, it's yeah. I know they have a lot because I was watching like two programs and they switched all my. You would like this also. Like everything became anime all of a sudden. So they have at least 100 shows apparently. Um, everything from you know dating shows to you know everything, just anything anime.
Yeah, well,
Um,
the Batman Ninja movie. It's not on Netflix. That's to my knowledge, anyway. It's not on, but I'm sure you've heard of it. Like that, you've heard of
yeah,
it. The animators
yeah,
for that were hired to do music videos for Sturgill Simpson, and Sturgill Simpson's got this really awesome um, music video, like Western rock opera thing, but it's done in the Eastern style, and it's done in that anime. It's really cool. I mean, it's might be a little not quite totally hip right now because it's a little bit old. I think it's like a year and a half old now, but I might be off about that. But anyway, it's worth watching. It's pretty cool.
cool. Crunchyroll, sushi roll, I'm gonna roll. All right, Salazar, check you out later, buddy.
I think he's saying he's on a roll, and not necessarily that he's going to roll out. You're not leaving us on
I,
that.
I think he's gonna roll. That's
It's because I'm talking too much.
it's because Randy's talking too much.
Yeah,
That's it.
Randy's hijacked the show.
Yep, that's what happens. I expect it.
See you, Salva. Sorry, I ran off, man.
But eh. So yeah. What I was saying before, Webtoons, it's a good site. I mean, why not promote the regular comic with, even just like sort of informative updates, like a weekly update of, more of the lore of Hawk of New York.
Yeah,
It could be something with maybe you show a couple of shots of art from the book, and start going into descriptions of and like the overall character and story, and whatever it does. It could be something outside of a normal webcomic, but more of a history lesson on your comic.
Yeah, or like a Marvel universe or a Who's Who kind
Yeah, there you go.
of world
No,
building.
it's just a thought.
Not bad at all. I hadn't looked at it quite like that before. I'll at least check it out. I mean, I've got the strips ready to go. Maybe I can intersperse the strips with, um, you know, different throw off art or development art kind of stuff that shows that I'm world building and things like the combat patch that Doc wears. That there's a whole backstory to that patch that I'll probably not get a chance to do unless I become a millionaire, and I don't think that's going to happen. So uh, it would be cool to tell that story, and it would be a way of like showcasing, hey, look, I've spent a couple hours designing this patch. It's a fictional special forces patch. I could do that.
Yeah.
It'll give me one more place to um, talk about Hawk.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it may not be a huge hit on the site, but I think at this point, because the site is pretty big and does have a lot of web comics on it and diversity on it and whatnot, that regardless of what you put there, you're going to have to compete,
Yeah.
kind of sort of against all the other noise out there, but noise being well done, good comics.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's the same wherever you go. You're trying to build your audience, when it comes down to it. So.
Yeah, building an audience is tricky, and what I noticed or got word of is, I think you and I have talked about the rules changing on you, before. At least I brought it up once a while back about you get going in with certain methodology on a certain platform, and then that platform changes all the rules, and the methodology you're doing produces fewer and fewer results. You have to stay on top of the changes, or you have to find another platform that works. And I just found out Facebook is apparently going into the content hosting video platforming service next month. Like they start the 1st of August. So I worry what that's going to do to all the YouTubers that are really counting on revenue streams. But at the same time, like, I don't necessarily think they're in trouble. I just think that it's another example of like, well, the landscape is changing, and I got 1,000 followers on Facebook. That's great. Who's on Facebook? My mother-in-law. Well, nobody cares about Facebook anymore. It used to be, the bee's knees, but now, not so much.
Well, so what is Facebook doing exactly?
They're trying to compete with YouTube, which
okay.
I don't know who owns what. It's and again, this is, take it for what it is. This is water cooler talk.
Right.
But they're going to be posting content the way YouTube is, video content specifically, beginning next month.
I mean, they already have video content, so what exactly is the difference?
Well, I don't know, but
okay.
I think we have to wait and see what that means. I think it means they're going to make it more obvious or more accessible or improved or something. I think they're going to make it where you can profit from it the way you can YouTube, or the way you used to be able to from YouTube. Whichever.
Well,
I've never been
well,
able to tap the code on YouTube. So
well, it's like I think it's because there's literally billions, probably at least a couple of zillion videos on YouTube that it's been going so long that
yeah.
I think it's harder to compete on YouTube than it is on Facebook because Facebook's younger in that degree. I see people who stream on Facebook and they're getting hundreds, thousands of views and whatnot, and meanwhile I'm happy for 30 views on a video, um, which is sad. But you know, I don't know if you saw. I I was allowed to switch to new Facebook the other day, and I did, and it looks like Facebook from a phone. It's a similar setup,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, I don't want that. I like how Facebook looks on my PC. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I switched it back. But oh, what happens a lot with these sites is like, yeah, try out this beta version of our site, and meanwhile, 2-3 months down the line, they have everybody switch anyway. Um, so we'll see how that goes. Um, but meanwhile, in the chat, Jay Espin, who I don't know, but I think I'm becoming more and more interested in what you got going on. So he mentions Jason Brubaker was on Webtoons, was for a while a featured artist on Webtoons with Sintra, or however he pronounces it, I forget. I was totally aware of that. I actually picked up the first 2 volumes of that comic, and I didn't. I wasn't getting into it. It was okay, I love Jason Brubaker and his work. Remind, I thought was awesome. Sintra um, was actually, it became a paid gig for him on Webtoons because he was featured. But I wasn't too into that particular story. But yeah, they do have like it's sort of like a little Kickstarter, Patreon-ish on Webtoons where you can become a paid artist essentially. Um, but because there's so many webcomics on there, because there's so many competing creators, uh, Jason Brubaker was you know accepted into that featured artist on Webtoons because he's a big name. Somebody like us would take a lot more work. Um, so Jay goes on to say, Webtoons is super cool if you want to build up an audience. Totally agree. I mean, I pretty much think if you can build up an audience on various sites, that's in your favor. Because you never know how drastically sites can be changed. Like Randy's talking about Facebook. We don't know what's happening, but we'll find out. See what develops. So he also mentions I have over 11,000 subs in my Webtoons. So have you had one comic on there for years, or what do you got going on there that you got 11,000 subs?
Yeah,
To
that's really impressive.
yeah,
That's awesome, man.
because I don't think I got 11,000 anyone following me anywhere. Like not any one place specifically. Like I got a couple thousand people following me on Facebook. I got a couple thousand on YouTube. I got yada yada yada, Twitter and other places. But in one place, 11,000. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, the the print edition of Grease Inc. is printed. They print 10,000 copies of that the last time I checked, and I know that most people just ignore the strip. There's no way like I've got 10,000 eyes on Hawk of New York, um, but it's fun to think about.
Yeah. Well, we can all dream, and that's like step one. It's like I know I'm currently on a mission to improve my YouTube audience. Get more subscribers, get more views. Um, my first video was up in I want to say 2007. I don't even know, like maybe 2010. I forget now. Um, but I've been sporadic on YouTube, and I've been more consistent since 2012. But I'm trying just now to just stay consistent for the foreseeable future. Get my numbers up so I can be a partner. And then I can monetize videos, and I when I started my new series, which is this. Okay, he said, let's see. Jay says, I started publishing my comic like 5 months ago. I have 7 episodes uploaded, maybe 7 months ago. Okay. By 7 episodes, is it a strip? Is it like a strip comic? Is it like a regular comic where 7 episodes equals 7 issues? Or explain. And you can come on and talk about this if you wish.
Yeah, join us, man.
Because and you can. I think all I have to do is okay it, but people can throw links into the chat. So throw a link to your comic so we can at least check it out later. So I was thinking, Randy, what you were saying before. How exactly is your cartoon versions of your high school class like? Are they traditional drawings that they're going to get in the mail, or how are you doing that?
Well, my high school world history teacher used to say that I looked like Skeezix, and I, like everybody else in the '90s, had no idea who the hell that was. Skeezix is a cartoon character from an older comic strip called Gasoline Alley. Gasoline Alley was really popular in the '60s, so I started researching who Skeezix was because I was being essentially made fun of for looking like Skeezix. And when I found out, I was like, oh, well, that's not so bad. Like he kind of looks cool. He's kind of, I think, the star of the strip or one of the main characters anyway. And I started drawing him, and like I drew myself as Skeezix, and then I noticed how that particular drawing style, everything was, all the features and everything was very symbolic. Like it was a language that the artist was using to very quickly describe very particular features that the faces had. So I thought it would be fun to do a few of my friends in the same style. And then my English teacher, who was the head of the yearbook, she also ran our yearbook anyway. It was a small school. She's like, "Why don't you do the whole class?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." An opportunity for me to show off? Sure. I'll take you up on that. So, and I didn't know, how much work it was. This was pre-Photoshop. So I drew them all on individual pieces of paper and literally cut them out and pasted them down. And I'll try to share the screen, but I think I'll probably go mute, which might attract more people to your channel if I'm on mute. I'll show you what I'm working on right now, or I try to. Let's see.
Okay, just as my accent is kind of super bad and my connection is very third world, I guess, as far as coming on. And he says, that's the link. I actually don't see the link. The direct comparison between traditional comic page and webtoon doesn't really apply one-to-one. Each chapter or episode on my comic ranges between 25 to 40 pounds. Okay. Yeah, I mean, lots of webcomics are open to the creators as far as how they want to structure it and all that. But yeah, I mean, 25 to 40 pounds is a lot. It maybe not a comic book length, but it's more than a 3 or 4 panel strip. So I guess when you say 7 episodes, it's a good chunk comic. So, well, Randy is I can't believe how bleached out my thing looks. All right, let's see. I had this like almost perfection at one point. It seems like the farther I put my light, I should just turn it off. Yeah. Still want to go blind. You can see it better now. All right, so I'm sure Randy will come back. Meanwhile, it's just me. And yeah, this is my first time doing an open call. If there's anybody watching right now who wants in, we have a Gaz.
Hey, what's up, Peter? Oh, can you hear me? Hello?
And I don't know how to work this, but this is weird, really weird. Oh, okay, there we go. Hey, welcome. Can you hear me? Oh, your voice went away.
Hi, hello. Welcome to me.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, we did it. You must have muted me, or yeah, StreamYard's weird.
Yeah.
I just myself used it once or twice for the first time, and I can't decide if I like it. How are you feeling with it?
I like it. I mean, solo, I love it.
Right.
As far as with people, that I'm still learning, and yeah, it doesn't always seem to go smoothly. But
I'm with you on that, because that's been my issue. I was saying this when you had Randy was trying to share his screen. That's the biggest issue I've had, is that it seems like only one person could share their screen at a time, and you have to make it like huge on the side. You can't just let it replace your video. So yeah, your setup is great where you have the camera on what you're working on, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, but thanks for having me on. I'm working on a traditional piece, but before I get back to it, I have to refill like 10 Copic markers. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay, cool. give a tutorial. This is how you.
I mean, I can. It's pretty simple. You have a Copic. Well, you could just pull the tips out with your finger, but I got fancy and I got these little claw grabbers, mainly because I do this at shows, like I've found at a convention, not anytime recently, obviously. But the ink gets all over your hands. So I'm not that I'm afraid of a little bit of ink on my hands, but you don't want to be touching merchandise and shaking people's hands and stuff. So you just use the little claw, boop, pull it out, and then you get these refills that are like little eyedroppers. And there's probably a precise amount you're supposed to do. I usually do like 15 drops. And I also will take, I have paper towels on my table that you can't see. I'll take this, which is the whole length of the nib, and I will drips all the way down it to make sure that's saturated. And then there's a thick and a thin side on the Copic. I realized, I don't know if I took you seriously, but you might have been kidding. But I don't know if people might want to know how to refill a Copic.
No.
Okay. You're like, geez, I was only kidding. Here he is giving us a lecture about Copics. Then on the thin one, I also pull that out. And this one, the claw really is necessary. You can't, there's a tiny opening, so you can't really drip in there, but I'll do the same thing where I drip ink along the length of the nib. And so I saturate both nibs and I fill it up from the thick end. And then that's pretty much it. I always have extra paper towels because sometimes it bleeds out the side, and it's honestly, it's sticky too. It's not just that you might get dye in your hands, but your hands get kind of tacky and sticky. But so this one is now refilled. I'll kind of give it a shake and I'll put it down. And it's better if, like, right now I'm doing several, because if I try to use that one right away, it might bleed a little bit, or it might, it's better to give it a second to sit. So now I'm going to get all the other markers and fill them with these, because I was working on the piece and I was like, oh, this marker's a little low. And I filled it and I went to the bathroom and did something else, came back. I'm like, okay, it's good now. And then like, oh, this marker's a little low. And I went and got a cup of coffee and I'm like, you know what? I better just fill all my markers because I'm gonna have to keep stopping every 5 seconds on this.
Yeah. It's sometimes you just got to do maintenance.
Yeah, it's not glamorous, but
most of the job isn't, but
Agreed. It's like 10% inspiration, 90% sweat.
Yep. Yeah, I gotta do my repeater.
Oh wow.
I got, it's like I got one point I think is done, so I might have to reorder the point itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I was having troubles with. I mean, I only have 3 different ones that I use.
Gotcha.
One very thin, one average, and one very thick, for which I use for borders mostly.
Sure.
But I love them because they're rot ring repeater. They're brown
rot ring
repeater.
Is that the brand name?
I don't know. I don't know if that's how they pronounce it, but it's ROTRING.
Gotcha.
And they're awesome because they're ink cartridges inside, and I've never had a problem with them bleeding while I'm using them, or them being very messy when I pop one out and pop one in. I've used other repair previously, and they just like drowning in ink when I'm changing them and stuff.
Do you buy full cartridges, or do you have to fill a reservoir?
I buy the cartridges because
Gotcha.
I could essentially get ink and put it in the cartridges,
mm-hmm.
but I decided long ago that I don't want to fuss with that because it's the same problem, refilling a repair. It just gets really messy. It's just much easier to pop one out, pop one in.
Oh, I no doubt. If I could do that with the Copic, I probably would. Because you see what I'm going through here, and I feel it dripping down my finger right now.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this, because I used to use rapidographs a million years ago. And basically, once I got my hands on some microns and I started using those, I kind of never looked back to rapidograph. So what is the difference / advantage between a micron style Pigma pen and an actual rapidograph pen?
Well, because I'm so it's more just me. It's like I'm insistent to do everything essentially in ink rather than marker.
So Pigma microns are considered markers? No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not talking about the Copics I'm working on. I'm talking about these guys. If you look at my screen, like micron, fine point. Like, to me, that looks. I thought this was like very similar. Yeah, what you're saying? This is actually a marker.
Yeah, well, I consider it a marker. I mean, somebody tell me different.
It says number 1 archival ink for acid-free environments. Micropigment ink, waterproof and fade-proof fine line. It does not say if it's a marker or pen.
Cause those are what I have. I think. These are
Sakura Pigma Micron.
Micron. Yeah.
But these are
Micron-
non-refillable. These are disposable, the ones I have.
Yeah, these are disposable. Archival ink. Yeah, I mean, it's like technically I don't know a lot of what's happening.
Well, I was only asking because like I said, I've been using the microns and they seem to be fine.
Yeah.
But if you're like, no, the rapidographs are
Yeah.
better because XYZ, I might switch. That's why I was asking.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I'm just like traditional at heart, and while I might use markers for convention sketches or just some commission work, I'm just more of a traditionalist to do things like I pretty much did in the 90s. The only changes I make are because I have to.
So it's more out of force of habit than anything else, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
That's fair. I mean,
like,
if you
I
like
like
the tool
it.
and you want to stick with it, that's a perfectly valid reason. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing out on some secret inking juice that I was, not privy to.
No, like back in the day, those that used, anything officially marker, you would see like 3 years, 5 years down the line, you look at the original artwork, and it would be like, hey, why is it like a dirty yellow, like almost brown instead of black?
That's why I always tell people not to use Sharpies. Yeah.
Yeah, because time and those markers just like didn't keep the consistency that they originally had or whatever.
Right. Well, I guess
things have changed.
That makes perfect sense. And the Copic markers have seemingly more permanent ink. I mean, who knows? Maybe in 10 years they still fade. I don't know. They seem better. But my main thing was I was surprised that you're saying that you consider microns markers, because I really did. I never heard that before. I did not think that was the case. Oh, Van digs my hair. Thanks. Yeah, I dyed. I dyed kind of half my hair blonde recently. Sorry, I was just responding.
Me too. No, wait.
Did you?
No
what?
Idea.
That'd be amazing if you just tattooed half of your scalp yellow.
I shaved my.
You could dye the stubble.
Yeah.
Dye one eyebrow
directly. Yeah. So let's see. Let me catch up with chat a little bit.
Yo.
So Randy went to take care of a phone call, so he'll be back. Then we have. Let's see if I pronounce this right. The Genesee Studios. That's not the right way, but the guy's name is Joe. Hey Joe. He says, "Hey Peter." Jay says, "Yes, it works now." I asked Jay in the chat for a link to his comic, but I don't see it for whatever reason. So he says it works. I don't know. Maybe I have to go to his YouTube channel to see his link.
Yeah, I see a lot of chat from Jay, but I don't see a link. That's weird. Maybe you can't put links in the chat. Maybe that's like a StreamYard thing.
No, you can. I think I've done it already, where it hides if it's a link, but I can unhide it.
Gotcha.
So it just put the name, if you're still around, Jay, put the name of your comic and we can look it up on the site.
Yeah, they're saying that they posted
Randy
it.
Says he's back.
Yeah. Brendan.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I don't know if you know this, but there's a way you could click the chat and it pops it up on the screen too if you wanted to highlight somebody. That's one thing I do like about StreamYard.
Yeah. I do it when I remember.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Yes. Do I have to change? Oh, okay. Here we go. Here's Randy. Do we hear you?
Hey, Randy.
Hey,
Hey, there you go.
Nice to meet you, man.
You too. How you been? How you been? How you been? Nice to meet you. How you been? Compared to the never times I met you before. How about how are you?
I'm good.
Nice to meet
I'm good.
you.
I'm sweating.
Oh,
It's pretty hot here. I just loaded a 500-pound window unit air conditioner in the back of a friend's truck.
that sounds
So
terrible.
good, yeah.
Where are you? What state?
I'm in Georgia. It's
Okay.
the hottest month of the year, July, and August is not much better.
I don't envy you your locale.
But it's fun. I make it work.
Yeah.
Make it
Are you
work.
from there originally?
No, actually, I've lived here about 11 years.
Where,
I'm originally from northern Arkansas. And
Okay.
I was talking before you showed up. We were talking about this high school portrait I'm working on. Like I
Yes.
did all my classmates in high school, and now I'm doing a 25-year reunion.
Oh, that's fantastic. I heard the first part. I didn't realize you were like redoing something you had done previously. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's hanging Chad. It's hanging Chad. I got that from watching Better Call Saul, but I like the expression. It's like,
I mean,
stuff-
I've heard it from way back in the day.
Yeah,
I thought it referred to like a voting like scandal in the 90s or something.
possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for me, it means like the work that you're supposed to do, but aren't necessarily that into.
Gotcha.
You know?
Oh,
Like,
that's all work for me then.
yeah. I mean, it's for a reason, right? So
All right, that's the cool markers done. The thing I'm working on is it's a traditional commission they wanted color, and I don't do a lot of traditional color. I do digital color mostly. When I do traditional, I always prefer to work in grayscale, if I'm being honest, but people like color, so I work in color. But I did one a little while ago, and it was a big 1117 thing, and it's just such a struggle because it's just so counter to the way I work digitally. Like I like to kind of experiment and stuff, and you can't really do that with the markers. And then it's like I don't have the colors I want, and I got to refill them. Anyway, I did this thing, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm never taking a color commission, like a traditional color commission again. I mean, unless I'm like dying and I have to make food, whatever. But as long as I'm not dying, I'm not taking one. And then I took one. So that's what I'm doing now, and I cannot wait for it to be done because when I'm done, I'm never taking one again. And we'll see if that sticks.
Until tomorrow.
Yeah, well, it's hard to turn down work. You know how it is, but I hate doing it.
Yeah. So let's talk. Let's see.
Then
Van says. All right, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Okay. What Van was saying before, I dig your hair, Gazbot. God, that would be dope, Peter. I guess me dyeing my head.
Yes.
But I posted a link and it appears in my chat.
That
Oh,
means
I
you
know
must
what I
have it
have to
turned
do.
off.
Well, if I specifically have it turned off or not, if I can control it. Well, I can't go to my YouTube channel right now, but I can go to the video afterwards and just make it visible to everybody else. So you won't see it now, but you'll see it later after I do that. That's right. Because I remember I unhid a link, but it was after the stream. So, okay. So,
Gotcha.
So he says, maybe it's blocked. Yeah. I think YouTube automatically blocks links and it's up to the person. And my internet isn't good enough where I could put up 2 pages at once. So
That makes sense, though, to stop people from just spamming garbage all the time.
yeah.
But aerosol
like,
on
here's
Webtoon.
Oh, okay. I'll definitely look it up. Curious. I am curious. You might have a new fan.
Maybe more than one.
Maybe more than one.
Yeah.
Well, for the 20,000 people who watch this video,
20,000.
all go to
Holy
your web
jeez.
comic.
Oh boy, I didn't realize there were so many. Jeez.
Yes. Are you nervous now?
I guess I should be, but you know. The way I conduct my life, it doesn't really change anything.
Wait, you guys have more than one fan? What's it like?
Yeah, I got one downstairs and one upstairs. They're great. They
My
move the
my mom is crazy about what I do.
Well, if she wasn't, I'd be really worried.
There you go. I always talk about doing an experiment, which I've never done, because I do a lot of fan art, that sells reasonably well. But it seems to have less to do with the quality of the art or how pleased I am with it, and more about which character I choose and stuff. So I've thought about doing this test where like I ask everybody to like vote on like what they think I should do, and then make a print of it, and not intentionally make it bad, but just not really sweat it, and just kind of like hack it out and just get it done, as quick as I can, and then put it out regardless of the quality, knowing that it's a character people want, and at the same time pick something maybe a little less popular and like put my heart and soul into it and make it be like the best thing I could possibly do, and see which one sells better. And the reason I haven't done that, A, because I'm lazy and slow, but B, and more profoundly, is I am terrified that the answer will be they'll buy the popular character and not care about the quality of the art. Because that will just make me question, like, why am I doing anything then? Like, I could just poop out anything, and as long as it's Deadpool, I'll make money, like.
Right.
People tend to buy what's popular. They don't really.
I think that's true.
They just want what's familiar.
Right, and that's. I kind of know that, but I don't want to confirm it because it'll make it hard to motivate myself.
It's as depressing as you allow it to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy enough to like go. You do stuff on Etsy. You like go around Etsy and look at Star Wars art or whatever,
Right,
and
but
it's like that's.
I guess I'm lucky enough that if I see Star Wars art, but it's good art, I'm like, well, yeah, but that's good. I mean, yeah, it's Star Wars, but it's quality work,
Mm-hmm.
But and granted, there's bad Star Wars work too, but I don't look at their sales and I'm just like, I assume they're not selling as much. You know what I mean? But again, I think you guys are both right. I just really don't need to confirm that with my own personal work. That like, oh, if I tried way less hard but picked more popular stuff, I'd actually be more successful, because that's just such a depressing thought, and it would lead to me not trying as hard and therefore being a worse artist.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I followed plenty of comic book artists, and as soon as they start making real money and they're more in demand and they're doing more books, all of a sudden the quality of their work like drops.
Right.
And they're just churning out more books, and people think, oh, it's for the money. Well, it was always for the money. But, but now they have the opportunity to make more money.
Yeah. And I've seen that too. And it's tough because you hate to see it, but I also kind of understand, because the nature of the industry, just like being an actor or something, like you might have a career for X amount of years, but most artists, and there's a few exceptions, but most artists will get hot for like 2 or 3 years. And everybody wants them on every book, and they're getting top dollar. And it's sort of like, if you wait, yeah, you're still gonna have a career, and you've made it, quote unquote. But like, if you don't take all 5 of those books that year, that's your chance to make $1 million that year, and it's gonna go away next year. So I kind of get it.
Yeah.
And to be clear, no one's making $1 million. It's not the 90s anymore. That number just flew out of my mouth. $1 million.
Well, there are people out there making, good money.
Certainly.
Doing comics.
And their names are Jim Lee and Robert Kirkman.
There's never if you work hard and you've got even a small degree of talent, you can bring in money consistently. It's not really a question of money or work. It's just direction and focus is another thing. And you need somebody at the top pulling you. I think if you're going to have any kind of focus. I mean, from what I've been able to observe from guys like Vic Bogdanovic, who's he was the inker on Action Comics. I'm not sure what he's doing now. He did something with Wolverine recently, but he was on Comic Book Resources with me. Like we were literally doing the same exercises 15 years ago, and he did nothing but work on his craft. Like he did nothing but improve his sequential arts. And I've done nothing but tread water since then.
Right.
Because I have other things in my life that I'm very proud of that I've done since then.
Yeah.
Working for DC Comics is not one of them.
You're right, though. It does seem to be out focused. It's like if you're not 100% working on that thing, you're not going to be able to. Well, you might not be able to crack that system or that book or whatever the thing you're trying to do, which is weird because you could be a more well-rounded person and a more well-rounded artist and more happy.
I'm not implying that I am, but I can definitely confirm I did not focus on nothing but my art for the past.
Right, but I'm even saying, even if you focused on just your art, you could have focused on painting and composition and illustration, and like you could have been still focusing on just art. But unless you're like comic book art, you still might not have been where he is. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It rewards.
And I'm sorry to interrupt. It's a bad habit I've got. Peter is witness to that too, Gaz. So sorry.
Are you kidding me? I'm the king of interruption. I literally didn't notice you interrupted because I was
Hey, wait. I was saying.
I think sometimes it's like the way we're raised because like my wife is like, you interrupt all the time and stuff, and I don't try to, but like she kind of got it more when she visited my family on my one side, well both sides, but one side specifically, like everybody talks over everybody, and not in a nasty way, just in like that's, I don't know, just everybody's loud and talks over each other, and it doesn't seem. Go ahead, yeah, see, that's how it goes. You have a thought, right over me. That's the correct way to speak.
Well, I'm from an Italian family, and we just like everybody's trying to tell their own story and top each other, and it's like you just have to get in there and go.
Yeah. And you see, if there's like 5 people and one of them looks at you, now you talk to that person. Everyone else is still talking, but now you and that one person that looked at you, now you're talking. But strangely, a large percentage of the population doesn't view conversation that way.
Well,
for me, I learned to talk from the Army. Like the Army broke me out of my introvert. I'm normally introverted, believe it or not. I just have a lot to say, and I'm not always great at knowing what things to share and what things not to share. And I think that's just life, really. But the Army sort of broke me. Like I was forced in a position where I had to brief the garrison commander and the battalion commander every day in the morning of what happened the night before. And if you do that every day for a year, you kind of get over your fear of interrupting and talking over people. Just talking in general, it just kind of it forces you out of your shell. Not saying it's the healthiest thing to do mentally, but it's certainly a technique.
That's funny. So we've kind of come to the same point, but I came from the other side where I'm much better at not talking over people and interrupting than I used to be. I'm still bad, but I used to be much worse. I was the person who'd like walk into a room and be like, "Hey, everybody!" Like regardless of what was going on.
I like to show off. Even when I was introverted, I like to show off. I just didn't like to necessarily talk about it. I wanted to do something and be.
You wanted to show and not tell.
The performance artist in me comes out.
Gotcha. All right.
So Van says, where is it? Click on. There we go.
Hey, that's a good thing.
Interrupting means everyone is interested in the conversation, at least.
That's true.
So
yeah, can't wait to get your thought out versus just sitting there quietly.
Yeah. Yeah, I know so many like of my own thoughts come and go because it's like, oh, I didn't have an opening.
Oh yeah. All right, my markers are all refilled.
So, well, I asked Randy when he showed up, so I'll ask you, Gaz. I mean, you've been on here before on my channel, but
it's been a little
for
while,
those
but yeah.
that are new, Yeah, and don't know you and your work and what you're up to.
Well,
But people,
I am a man like any other. But no, I am Gaz Gretsky. I go by Gazbot online almost everywhere. On YouTube, whatever. I do a comic book called The Horror A4. It's an independent kaiju comic. It's a 5-issue series. I've done 2 issues. I'm working on issue 3. It is taking me years. I am a slow artist, and I have other things going on. And I'm not making apologies. I'm making just explanations. But that's my what I love, but makes me no money and takes forever to get done. I used to be a full-time illustrator. Now I'm more part-time because I have a kid. So I cut my workload back, but I do commissions. I'm working on a Warhammer commission right now, and I do fan art, a lot of Godzilla, a lot of Power Ranger stuff, and I normally do like 10, 15 conventions a year. Not this year, obviously. And I also I used to do animation, not so much anymore, and I occasionally do other random client work. I've done caricature and you name the type of art, I've probably done it at some point. I've been freelance for years, so it's I've done album covers and bar mitzvah and notifications and whatever it is, big and small. I've probably done it. I'm not saying I'm the best, but I'm kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. But yeah, and right now I'm trying to finish up this traditional. Actually, can I? I can't really show you without untaping it from all the stuff I have. But that's what I'm working on now. And once I finish that, I'm going to try to get back to page 6 inks of the Horror A4 issue 3. So that is that good enough? Is that good enough, Peter? Did I pass the muster there?
well, it's acceptable.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take it acceptable. Now,
minus.
I mean, that's how I got through school. Can I move on? Then it was good enough. I have a question now, though. I can't screen share because I'm working traditionally. And my camera's over there, and if I start working, this is the view you're going to have. Just me. So I don't know.
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, that's what I'm going to do, because otherwise I got to leave, because I want to get some work done. So this is me. This is what it looks like if you were in my studio behind me.
Yeah.
Hey, if it takes you more than a year to do a comic, Gaz, that's normal, man. Like it is what it is. Like there's so many aspects to just making a comic book, and the more you make, the more you realize how much there is to a single aspect of it. So it's like, for me, it seems to be working the opposite. Like the more I try to make, the longer they take me to make, because I care more. I care more about.
And you realize the mistakes you made in the earlier books. Yeah, that's my biggest concern, actually. And in addition to how long it's taking to come out, when I look at the quality. Like I was happy with issue 1, and I'm not like embarrassed of it. But when I worked on issue 2, I'm like, everything about issue 2 is better. And now that I'm working on issue 3, I'm like, everything about issue 3 is better. And so if you're doing a monthly book, you improve over time. But because there's like a year or more between each issue, it's like when I collect it, it's going to be like shocking how by the beginning of the book to the end of the book, how much things have changed.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I think it's a very common problem.
Yeah. I've never, well, I can't say never. I mostly do all my own stuff, because even when I've done work for hire comics, which hasn't been a lot, it's been like super, super independent stuff where like I do everything. I pencil, ink, color if there's color. Half the time I help with the script. So I've had very few opportunities to like be a penciler or a inker or just do one job. And I wonder, I would like to do that. You know what I mean? And I wonder if I would be quicker, or I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I've never worked in that standard studio structure, and I wonder how it would be if I'd enjoy it.
I definitely did, and I think you would. I mean, it's such a laser focus because putting comics together for Marvel and DC, and a lot of independent people feel that sort of the structure of having, individuals doing individual jobs.
Right.
I loved it because so focused on what I needed to do. Like, I would just wake up and not fret about anything other than doing a good job on this one specific thing.
I love that you use the word fret. You don't hear that a lot.
and now it's like I got a million things going on, and I'm all over the place. And it's like, all right, just contain yourself, Pete. Get it together.
Yeah.
Well, prioritization and how you prioritize things is like a very personal thing. But there's ways to optimize your priorities so that you go in whatever desired direction. So if you prioritize one way, you're going to succeed in this area, but it's going to cost you in this other area. And if you prioritize another way, then you're going to go in that other direction. And it's tricky to know how to juggle. Like I'm working on this commission, Gaz, that's 6 years old. Like it is a 6-year-old commission I've not fulfilled.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Okay.
Until I get it done, I'm not going to feel good about anything else.
Now, have you worked on other art and other commissions in between, or have you just been like stuck?
Oh yeah, I've done plenty of commissions since. The way it fell is like it was for a reunion that never happened. So there was no way to present it, even if I had got it done. So I just didn't do it. And nobody cared. Nobody has been pressured.
No pressure.
I've been paid for it. I don't feel good about not doing it. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do it this year since it's the 25th year. And if I wait till next year, it won't be as special.
Gotcha.
Well, you're special.
I definitely you're a special feller. I definitely work better under deadline.
My mom agrees with you.
Yeah, when I don't have a deadline, it could like this, because this commission, I wasn't taking a lot of commissions right now because it's hard for me to know when I can get something done. My schedule is kind of weird, but this was a return client, and they're like, no deadline, just get it done when you can. And I was like, all right, so I'll take a month or two and just work on it when I can and get it out. And like, it's been like 3 months, and they're not upset because they said no, whenever you want. But I know, like, if I don't do this, like, I'm forcing myself to do it, because even though it's not due, it'll never get done if I don't like prior. Even though there's other stuff I'd rather be working on right now, I have to get this done because I can't. It'll linger forever. Like, I don't want it to be 5 years, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I it's like I got commissions, and it's from people like that. Like, yeah, don't rush. Meanwhile, every time they like something of mine, I'm like, they want my piece, don't they?
Yeah. I feel like don't rush. Yeah. It's weird because on the one hand, it's someone saying, hey, I know art could be hard and you're busy, and they're trying to be flexible and do you a favor. And it's like a good client and a good friend that says don't rush, but in some ways they're not doing you a favor. You know what I mean? Because then they're always going to be last on the list of things if you're not rushing. Because it's not like, well, I finished everything else up. Like, you never finish. You're never done, until we're dead or retire. Never. Like, so if that's the one thing that has no deadline, it's always going to get pushed back. So, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. And somebody, like, enough people have come to me and said, I wish I had a, what am I thinking of? Not art director, not art dealer, not,
editor?
Not editor.
Agent?
I guess agent. Somebody to set up the jobs and sort of does above and beyond, like actually directs your career and does all the heavy lifting, and all you have to do is the work.
Like a manager.
Like a manager. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like I would be very good at that, but I mean, specifically, I suck at that for myself. But it's like, I think a lot of comic book artists would cling to that if there was a really good thing out there like that, like a really good manager, because half the work, or a lot of the work, is getting more work,
right?
And while you're in training on a new skill or just on your main skill, and you need not to divert your attention. And the reality of the job is that you're always, like, all over the place.
I feel like it's one of those catch-22s where like I feel like for sure there are some artists, comic book artists specifically, that have managers or agents, but they're like Alex Ross or Todd McFarlane or like somebody that is big enough that they A can afford it, and B it makes like the work is coming at them so fast. It's not even like they're looking for it, that they just have someone to answer their emails and stuff while they concentrate on doing whatever they need to do.
Yeah, they already have the resources to pay a manager, and they have a steady stream of fans and business.
Yeah. It's less about getting new work and more about managing the work they have.
Yeah, and like not dropping the ball for the important clients.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd like one of those too. That all I gotta do is get up and draw. That'd be great. That sounds awesome. And I think a lot of artists, and like certainly comic book artists and animators and any commercial artist often has a rude awakening of how much, like, for lack of a better term, business they have to worry about, and whether you're good at it, bad at it, like you have to engage in it to some degree.
Yep.
Even if it's just like writing a contract or billing somebody. There are some artists that just can't even manage that, and it's like, well, then you kind of can't have this job. Yeah.
True.
I'll tell you the other thing I worry about if I ever did get in a position where I was just one person, like one element of making it, is like when I'm working on the pencils, there's always things like, well, I'll fix it in the inks, and then the inks, I'm like, okay, well, I'll fix it in the color. Like I'm not, like, I'm always kind of unhappy with it, and I just keep reworking it every phase. And so if I was just like a penciler for someone else, I would do it, but I'd be kind of scared because I wouldn't have that chance. Like I wouldn't have the second and third chance to go back and fix the thing later, because I'd have to give it away and hope that they fix it.
Yeah, I mean, there is a drawback to being a part of a team rather than the whole shebang. And I've heard from, plenty of artists, plenty of pencilers, maybe all the pencilers that, like, oh man, I worked with a couple of inkers and they just sucked. They ruined my stuff.
Right.
They ruin all the great detail I put in and all the hard work and yada, 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 yada. It's like, now it's my turn? No.
Well, that's funny because that kind of makes me feel a little better, because I was thinking that I would not do a great job and then they might not fix it the way I would. But now, if it doesn't come out good, I could be like, well, I did a great job. I don't know what happened with the inker.
Yeah, well, there's more proof in the world nowadays, like especially with everybody sharing like every page they're working on while they're working on it.
That's true. And to be clear, no, you're
like
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to say, in case people don't know me, I'm 100% kidding. I would never blame somebody else for my shortcomings. I blame myself for things that aren't even my fault. So,
Man, it was going so well, but then the apocalypse. But
I think for me, it's about whether or not I can work on my ideas. I like the concept part of it the most, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Like as long as there's room for me to add to the idea of something, then I'm happy.
Right.
If I'm just doing technical nug work, then I have a certain amount of tolerance for that. I'll do it, but I won't be at my happiest.
There's a ratio of like money to like creative satisfaction too. Like the more enjoyable a job sounds, I'll be more likely to take it for less money. But if it sounds like, oh, I don't want to do that, like my price goes up. And that helps because it's like, well, this isn't super fun and fulfilling, but hey, I'm getting enough money that I'm gonna go buy a new toy after, But there is, and I don't know, it's probably different for everybody, but there is some point, like there's a tipping point where the money doesn't matter. Like there's like, if you dislike a task enough, there's no amount of money that's going to make you like it. You know what I mean? Like it's just impossible at some point.
But you're saying you have a price.
Oh, I absolutely have a price. I mean, I'll take the money and then find out if I enjoy the job or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, it definitely, I've definitely, and I'm transparent about this. It's not me being a jerk. I definitely will
Yeah.
raise my prices or lower my prices generally because I have base prices if you're having me do commissions or whatever. But if it's a subject matter I really don't want to do, I've like doubled my price. And if it's a subject matter I really do want to do and maybe I can make a print out of it, or if it's going to go somewhere that'll help my career, I might cut my price a little bit. Or I might say, okay, that's the price, and then put in a lot of detail in the background, or like just put an extra little secret sauce on it, because you know what I mean. So, and I don't think I'm being unfair to people. It's just, you know, I say this all the time, like, don't come to me if you want Lady Death. Nothing against Lady Death, nothing against people that draw Lady Death. I'm not that guy. I'm not like the hot bad girl artist. That's not who you want. But if you want me to do it, it's going to be like double or triple my normal fee. Be like, if you're really like, no, I just want to see your Lady Death. Okay, I will do it. You know,
I have issues with drawing Spider-Man, Deadpool, and Harley Quinn. Those are the three people that I hate drawing the most.
Really, and Spider-Man and Deadpool are kind of easy because you don't have to draw their face.
I know, but it's a completely psychological thing. Like, I just can't. I can't get there with those characters. Like, I just can't do it because they've been done to death, and they've been done by people that are way better than me. That, you know, like, it's not that I'm intimidated so much by them as it is just like, go somewhere else. Like, there's people that do that. Like, there's people that that's all they do. You know, like, why are you coming to me with that? Like, just come to me with a Ghost Rider commission, and I'll be happy. You know.
I also like doing Ghost Rider.
Or even a Batman commission. Batman, I have similar issues with, but I can push through them because I'm a huge fan of Batman.
Gotcha.
I'm not a huge fan of those other. You know, I'm a fan, but I'm not a huge fan. You know, I don't have a room full of Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
I think that's fair though, because it's partially a matter of like what you want to draw, but it's partially a matter of what suits your skill set and stuff. Like if somebody wanted me to draw the Archies, I'd be like, really? Like, because then it's like I'm basically gonna look at, like, I can't remember. There's a famous artist that did Archie, but I'm gonna look at an Archie comic and basically be copying the way they draw Archie, because I don't know how to draw Archie. That's like, you know, and the only other
whatever you draw is going to be off model. Like for that cartooning, it's very, very specific.
Yeah. So either I'm going to do it in my own style and it won't look anything like Archie, or I'm going to kind of copy, not, you know, exactly one drawing, but like I'm going to copy that style so much that it's like, why are you even having me do this? And I've done jobs like that because like sometimes you need the money, but it's like, why, you know, but it is better if it's somebody that knows my work, and this doesn't happen as often as I'd like, but somebody who knows my work, sees what I do, and then is like, hey, I want you to draw Deadpool. And it's like, okay, I mean, I'm not really a superhero guy, but like, you know, they're like, no, I know, but I've seen like, you know, your Godzilla or your Power Rangers or the robot or whatever they've seen, and like, you know, I just want to see how you would do it. That's kind of the key, how you would do it, or your style. That kind of sets me free, because then I'm not beholden to whatever they had in their mind of what Batman is or what this person is or what, you know. It's just like, oh, they like my art, they want to see, you know, how I would draw it, and I get that. Because if you think of like Sergio Aragonés, like the cartoonist, right? Yeah, he's got this super cartoony style. You would never ask him to draw Spider-Man, but you might, because it'd be kind of cool. Like, oh, how's he gonna draw Spider-Man? And it's gonna look like a Sergio Aragonés drawing of Spider-Man. You're not expecting John Romita Jr. or Todd McFarlane or whoever else. And so, like, if people approach me with that attitude, I'll draw anything. But at the average convention, it's just somebody that doesn't know me, that kind of quick looked at my art, likes my prices, and is a fan of Lady Death. And those are the ones that I'm like, all right, well, $200, you know, like, because I don't charge $200, but for Lady Death, $200.
Yeah, all fair points.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because like Marvel and DC used to be super critical about how the artists drew their characters. Mm-hmm. Now they're more open to interpretation and variation and whatnot. But there used to be tight guidelines that the artists followed. As far as like fan art, it's like if you're asking a specific artist to do their interpretation of a character, then don't you want their interpretation? Not
Well, and I think that comes down to the person asking and the fan. And I'm not like, and all fans have to be experts or anything like that. There's nothing wrong, but you do get people.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use a term, and I don't mean this to be insulting the way some people mean it. You get people who are ignorant, and I mean that in the literal definition, that they don't have the knowledge and they don't understand how it works, who just go, oh, wow, a comic book convention. Here's an artist. Hey, can you draw me the Incredible Hulk? And just they think that's how it works. And they think they're going to get, a Dale Keown Incredible Hulk. I'm just pulling names out of my head and it's not being out of malice or anything. They just literally are ignorant of the way the things work.
Right.
And so, and that's tough. And that's where I try to educate them and try to steer them like, well, wouldn't you rather I do Deathlock? Because I think I do a better job, No? Okay. Well, it's not Lady Death.
To be honest, a Hulk commission when you're not a Hulk artist is still not a bad thing because it's a commission.
You're absolutely right. And this is all like first world problems of, people are trying to give me money for art. But if I'm in a position where I could afford to turn that down that day, I try not to turn it down. I try to talk them into something else. Then I raise my price, accordingly, because, and Hulk maybe is a bad example because Hulk's been done so many different ways. As long as it's like a big muscle character, you kind of can't get it wrong. But even still, not everybody's that artist. If you're sort of like a anime artist as cutesy cats, you're going to do a cutesy bubbly Hulk, which is cool if somebody wants that. But if they're thinking it's going to be, the Hulk from the Avengers movie they just saw, they're going to be disappointed. And I think that's the worry. And that's why I try to that's why I give people a talking to before I start just drawing whatever they ask me to draw.
Have you ever done a commission you were just horrified that you did it and you sold it anyway?
Yes.
God,
usually I hate it. I don't feel good about myself. And here's the thing. It's never been where it's always been like they paid me, so I have to do it and I have to give it to them. And it's usually at a convention, like where they need it by the end of the day or they need it the next day. If I'm at home and it's coming out that bad, I'll redo it or start over. I'll try to make it work somehow. But I hate, and this happens, and again, I can't turn it down, but I hate working on sketch covers. I get that because even at a convention, if I start messing it up and I'm like, well, I have to have it by the end of the day. Well, I got a few more hours. I'll throw away that piece of Bristol, start over. If it's a sketch cover, the second you put a drop of ink on there, you're done. Even if it's just pencil, it's so hard to erase.
Yeah,
so
and the paper quality is all over the map too. Some are good, some are horrible.
And some people care if the comic is damaged or not, because you're kind of leaning on it and working on sometimes little creases get on it and it's not mint anymore because you're using it like a piece of paper, And some people are like, please don't crease it. And so now I'm nervously trying to hold my arm way above the paper so that I'm not leaning on the book. And it's so I've never given someone something that I've definitely given people things that I was disappointed in. Nothing that I was so disgusted that I'm I've ripped them off, but certainly things that I'm I hope they don't show that to anybody and say it's mine, I
hope that they
enjoy
enjoy
it at home. Don't show it to your friends.
Right. No need to tag me on that one, buddy. It's weird too because that happened to me. Sorry.
I definitely get where you say you have to educate them on this is what I do and how I do it, and is that what you're looking for and that sort of thing. Because you don't want to say, oh yeah, I'll build your home. I usually start with the roof. Is that a problem?
I'm looking up reference for the color of the eyes.
Yeah, I see that you're a plumber. Can you go ahead and do my roof for me?
I'll even go further and be I think because they're kind of in the right ballpark. It's they see me cutting my lawn and they're like, hey, can you come and do some landscaping? Just because I know how to cut a lawn doesn't mean I know how to do all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Where the heck is it?
Advances. Let's see. Show. Okay, it takes long for it to show up. Okay, even when you're 100% publishing independently, there's a lot of business getting the product. Yes,
Absolutely.
from what we were talking about before.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he also said, out there into someone else's hands. For
I think he was
sure.
talking about when I was talking about passing the work on as opposed to having done it all myself.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's advantages to both. I definitely want to get into doing everything or almost everything myself. But, it's like, I feel like I was slow doing one thing. Sure, why not just throw everything into the mix?
Flawless logic.
I truly believe that it depends on what order you do things, like what direction you end up going. Because if you work on the old thing that doesn't pay, then you're not going to make money. But you might make some people happy, which will then lead to money.
Right.
Like it's not. You don't always know. Like you don't always know what order. I have struggled with this my whole life. Like I have no idea what order to work on things in.
I'm the same. And I'll feel like going back to what you're saying about like where to put your effort and like what direction and stuff. I struggle because I continuously get like a tug where I feel like, ooh, this is what I should do. Like I was doing a lot of Power Rangers fan art and like I was getting a good response. I'm like, oh, maybe I should keep doing this. Maybe I should do some sample pages and pitch to a Power Rangers book. And like, but then like after a few weeks, like it kind of wasn't there anymore. But like I did this Godzilla piece that everyone's losing their mind over. I'm like, oh, okay, I should push this. And then like all of a sudden, a few of my personal books sold. And I'm like, oh, okay, I got to make sure I follow up on the indie comic scene. And like,
yeah,
like but it's so like you feel a little bit of success, and you're like, you okay, I should push this. But so what I like I said, Jack of all trades, master of none. I have like so many irons in the fire, and they're all kind of warm, but none of them are catching fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're constantly in a tug of war with whatever's working.
Yeah.
I had a string of success with Doctor Who commissions. I did a lot of Doctor Who art, and then it just like the fandom seemed to have bottomed out or flatlined. The demand just went away. Like that, I was making plans of doing like a Doctor Who fan comic book, and no.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even do a Doctor Who commission now because they don't sell. Not like they used to anyway.
Right.
Doctor Who. So back in the day, there was a writer who wrote a Doctor Who novel, and he wanted to do a comic with the universe he created within that story. Not using the whole Doctor Who mythology. So he got permission somehow, and that was one of the books that was published through Image that I worked on.
Really, I didn't know
nobody heard of.
What was it? What was it called?
It was not Doctor Who. Is not anything related to Doctor Who. But
what was the title?
It was called Faction Paradox.
Okay.
So it was sort of the universe he created within that novel without the whole mythology of Doctor Who.
Interesting. But it didn't do very well.
No, because nobody knew what the hell it was. It was just another random comic that made no sense. That Doctor Who was mentioned in it, but people didn't understand what the hell.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
But it was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
I mean, it's amazing he got the rights, but yeah, I guess at the end of the day, it was meaningless.
Yeah. It's like I created a character in my Star Wars novel, and no, I'm making a whole series out of it. It's just like okay.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, you got to do what the lady who made the Twilight fan fiction that turned into the really popular movie 50 Shades of Grey. Like that was Twilight fan fiction, But when she wanted to monetize it, she just made them be humans and not vampires and stuff. And like, I feel like that's kind of what you have to do. It has to be a story that can stand on its own without being in that fandom, and then you could pull it out.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't either. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like it's an analog. You're telling, you want to write for Superman. Well, you come up with Super Duper Man, and you write a Super Duper Man story. And if it's really good, then you might be able to leverage it.
Yeah, well, but I mean, there's been plenty of Superman stories that have come out. Like, I mean, think of like what was it? Irredeemable was a Superman story, basically.
The Huck. Have you ever heard of Huck?
No.
It's really good. Like it was optioned for Netflix, but I've not seen it on Netflix.
Well, but that's the point. Is at this point, having a superhero that could fly and is super strong and invulnerable, you can do that. And as long as they're not from Krypton and a newspaper reporter and all that stuff, you can make your own version of Superman and put your own spin on it. Now, if you try to make it exactly Superman and just change the name, yeah, you're going to get in trouble. But why would you want to do that? The whole point is if you have this really awesome idea for Superman that no one's ever done, then call him Blasto and give him a purple suit and do it.
Well, if you make it exactly like Superman, I mean, he's a reporter of a newspaper, people will go, how old-fashioned.
That's true. That's true.
What's a newspaper?
What's a newspaper?
Is that like Twitch?
Is that like Twitch?
I get all my news from an anime girl in the morning.
That's so ridiculous. Can you tell me the link to that, please?
Yeah. It's awesome.
Hatsune news though.
Hey. Yeah. Oh, okay. So Van has more to say. Being Van. Let's see. I haven't paid for a lot of commissions. I mean, I'm broke a lot of times, but when I have, I've always asked for their original characters or just asked whatever you'd like to draw. And that's the best kind of commissioner.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Totally.
And he goes, I've always gotten something cool with that deal, and it's always a surprise for me as a customer. I don't know. I wish the fan art scene was just a little different. It is what it is.
I do agree, though. But again, that is usually you have to be a fan of the art you're looking at and go, I like this enough that I'll be happy with whatever I get. And most people, if you're not a known artist, don't want that, unfortunately. I'm going to have to get going in a second, but I took a picture I think I could share.
Sure.
Let me see. Oh, you could kind of, it's a little bit blurry, but that's what I'm working on. It's from the game Warhammer, which I've never played. 40K. Oops, get out of here, text messages. You can't really see it. Look, it's great.
Hey.
It's got text messages all over it. Oh, this is the height of technology. Wait.
It does look cool.
Wait. Oh, wait. Look, it came in clear for a half a second.
I'm leaning in.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Whatever. Well, if you follow me on any of my social media, I'll post it eventually. Sorry, what'd you say?
Yeah.
Gaz,
I was going to say you'll probably post it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Go, Randy.
What's up, Randy?
I was just going to ask, are you on Facebook at all, Gaz?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. I have Gaz Gretsky, which is my personal account, and then I have Gazbot, which is my artist account. So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm technically on Twitch. Twitter, all the normal places people are. You can find me as Gazbot. Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll try to find you if I haven't already.
Yeah. Are you? We're probably in some of the same groups. Are you in the Artcasters group?
Maybe.
All right, we'll find each other. Well, yeah, we're both friends with Peter, so we can find us there.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, Peter, thanks for having me on. Sorry, I got to jump off.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out.
Bye, everybody.
Good times.
Nice meeting you, Randy.
Cool. And in the chat is Comic Book Black Belt, otherwise known as Russ. He says, evening. So I'm doing for anybody in the chat watching this currently live. If you want to join, let me share the link again, because that's how Randy hijacked. I mean, came to join the stream.
I do what I can.
And he threw me some bucks under the table. So I said, "Oh, all right, you can come on. You can come on. You feed my cats, you can come on."
You don't need any kittens, do you? Like, you need any more kittens? Because I don't know what I'm going to do with all
Do
the
I need
kittens.
more? No, I do not need more kittens.
Okay, just checking. If
What?
that changes, let me know. Because I'm looking for good help.
Well, is it like one of yours had kids or something?
Well, we had a female cat that was a stray take up with us, and then she promptly got knocked up and had four kittens in our porch, and now we've trapped her until we think that we're ready to take her to the vet to get her spayed, and so that doesn't happen anymore. But now we're saddled with 4 kittens, and I think we're going to keep one of them, spay the mama, and give the rest away. But I don't know how that's going to plant. I don't know how that's going to shake out when kids get attached to kittens, and we've already started naming them, and that's that's the beginning of the road.
That's the road to hell right there.
Yeah.
I know all about it. Yeah, I would love to say, yeah, I'll take them. Bring them to my farm. I mean, small farm, and yeah, I have enough. I mean, technically, I have 5.
You're probably good. I just know you to be a good cat owner.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I try to do the best by my cats, even above and beyond what I'm able to, and there's always stories of our cats going on, and yeah, I can't really take on anymore, no matter how cute they might be. What is it? I technically have 5, although we haven't seen my black cat Raven. So she might have ventured out of the farm and into the woods. As some of our cats have gone just out into the wild because that's the life they want to lead. But even with 4, that's enough.
Yeah,
I'm looking to
you start spending some serious money
upgrade,
keeping them in kitty litter.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like I have the day job now, and I got paid Friday, and now I'm broke because I decided I wanted a couple of them here so I could take better care of them. But it's like I gave away everything I had, so I get new litter, new food, new this, new that. Yeah, money goes fast with them.
Yeah. Yeah, you start wondering why you don't just get a dog.
They don't help you with your art, or comics or
lazy bastards.
But Van says, got a jet as well. Hope you guys enjoy what's left of the weekend. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate you checking out the show, commenting away. I should mention at this point, if you haven't already, give the show a like. It shows your appreciation and that you love me. If you haven't already as well, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow it past 1,000 so I can monetize and make a living alone by YouTubing. That's right. That's my plan. No. I'll never get there. But every little bit helps. If I can make a couple bucks off of YouTube, that would be awesome. Add to my Patreon, add to art sales, commission sales, comic sales, so on and so forth. What do you think, Randy?
I was just wondering, do you have a store like a brick? Like you sell stuff on Facebook, but do you have like I have a Story Indie store. I don't know if you've
I
got like a store like that or not.
I do have a store, Envy store, and I should go and check the current status of things because last time I got a new checking account and tried to set up my account with Store Envy, it was giving me all sorts of problems. So I
Yeah.
have to look into that again. That's why I haven't been selling stuff via my store because I'm a lazy bastard and haven't
Well,
checked the.
their interface is their interface is not as smooth as it could be. It's not bad. I mean, I don't have any real complaints about it, but it does seem like there's a lot of clicking to get to something that should be a little bit more intuitive.
Yeah. So I'll have to check the status and see if I can use it again without it being an issue. But yeah, I do have one, and I think I named it Human Art Studio at storeenvy.com or something. And there's stuff listed there, but I really have to pretty much go over and start again or something. Post some stuff and whatnot. I did. Speaking of which, I did update my links below the video, and I simplified it. So now pretty much you'll see a link to my Facebook group, which is creator-owned comics group, and also the YouTube channel. Now, current day job aside, eventually, I did a recent interview with Todd Maroney on my creator-owned YouTube channel, and I plan to do more. It's up in the air exactly when the next one's happening, but I plan to be a lot more active with my creator-owned group and the YouTube channel, and eventually more. So I hope, like by fall, to get more things in place and focused, as well as my store, and actually like have product as far as just simple merchandising with my character Retro and prints and stuff like that, because I haven't done a lot in all the years I've been in this industry. Head that says, that's the logical step. That's the thing everybody should be doing. And yet I've held off myself from doing things that would make me money and make my life easier. Why? Because I don't know.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Because Randy screwed
Yeah,
me.
it's all my fault.
But
you're breaking up a little bit when you're talking. I don't know if that's for everybody or just me.
Am I currently
you were
breaking up?
Right now. You're not breaking up now. But I didn't catch everything.
Okay.
You're saying. Sorry.
Well, sometimes. Oh. I said something about giving you $1 million. I don't know. I forget exactly.
All I heard was it's all my fault, and I was just like, yeah, it is. I don't need to know the specifics to know that.
I was just kidding around. I've been going on 2 hours. Well, what I was talking about specifically was that, like how I knew coming into this industry, coming into comics for doing it for a living, I knew before I started that, like doing an independent comic is what I should be doing. Like doing merchandising is the way to make money and allow you to have the career that you want. And yet it's taken me all this time to finally get around to doing my own comic, and it's taken me just as long to like I've dabbled with prints, but haven't become serious. So it's like one of the things I wanted to do last year, and stuff didn't pan out because my focus was diverted, but is to become more serious about what I was doing, is become more serious about working on my own comics, is to become more serious about my presence online. And then I had, honestly, I had money issues and scheduling problems and whatnot. But it is still my focus, and it is still something I need to put at the top of my priority list.
It's who you are. It's who you are as a person. It's never going to change. Like who you are as a person is not going to go away.
Yeah. But it's like I say all this because like my career can go smoother by actions I take. It's like I've had plenty of things fall apart that I've started working on with other people, or was told by other people that they wanted me to be a part of, and I can't control what other people do, but I can control what I do, and so I just want you to know I'm serious. That's all I'm saying. So I guess we'll wrap this up because we've been going over 2 hours. It's I'm happy we have done so. It was great to hang out with you and also Gaz.
Hey, Peter, I noticed 2 new likes on my Hawker New York Facebook page since I joined your stream. So I just want to say a big thank you for providing this service for me and for Gaz and for anybody else out there that wants to come and talk about being an independent comic book maker. Because I think this kind of thing is really awesome, and it's also really rare. It's a rare forum, and I'm very grateful that for what you're doing and for just this chance. This is really we're living in the future. We're living in the future. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, in my own way, I've always done so for other creators, and I know, like, in many ways, my audience gravitates towards me promoting other people more than just myself. And it does in turn does good for other people, and I see that. I'm aware. I take advantage, and I mean, it's all about all of us doing good, because it helps everyone, and I will continue to do that, and I will also continue to hopefully improve as time goes on in bigger and better ways.
Well,
thanks, Jay.
I'll look forward to being a small part of that, Peter. And thanks again for having me on. I'm going to go ahead and tap out,
Yeah.
and I'll talk to you later, man.
Okay.
All
All right. Cool, man.
Everybody, stay vigilant.
Yeah, it's funny. So Jay says, I missed the last part of the stream, but I already subscribed. Pretty good channel. Thank you, buddy. And I will definitely check out go and check out your comic and see everything you're up to. Yeah. So like the video, subscribe if you haven't, hit the bell, and you know when I do live broadcasts. And what else? Oh, share the video out to your friends and your audience. And I can grow all the faster. And till next time, I'll try to stream a couple of times this upcoming week. We'll see how that goes. I am looking forward to the day where I could do this daily again. So we'll see as soon as that can be. Take care, everybody. Hope you've had a productive and efficient day. And I'll see you again next time. Peace.